Welcome back to Starfish Coaching. I'm Eric Lee, and today, for my Founders Interview series, I have a special guest, and that's Reza Saeedi with Borderless Group. We're going to be exploring a very interesting topic, and that is how do you succeed in business with collaboration instead of competing? Stay tuned because we've got lots of great tips to share with you. Welcome back to Starfish Coaching. I'm Eric Lee, and today I have a special guest, and that's Reza Saeedi with Borderless Group. He's the co-founder, and this is for my Founders Interview series, and he's going to share with us some insights from his entrepreneurial experience. So, Reza, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Eric. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so excited to be part of this interview. And thank you for the opportunity that you're giving me to, chat a little more.
Thank you. So what I'll do is I'll just give our audience just a brief history of all that you've done. You've done so much stuff. I remember when I met you, we were talking and there's definitely some interest that sparked in me. So I always noted you as a special interview guest when I get to my podcast. Your background was in Iran, of course. In Iran, you had a graphic design shop and a print shop. And when you came over here, you had 2 bike shops. So entrepreneurial is in your blood, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
And when I met you, you had a print shop. And your print shop, what really interested me was, it was interesting. It wasn't a traditional print shop. You had a different idea to it. It was more from a angle of collaboration versus competing. And then now, of course, you have Borderless Group. So it feels like you've just on to bigger, better things. And even Borderless Group maintains that philosophy of collaboration.
Sure, yeah. Actually, I'll go a little back and then a little talk about my background and then where I came from. So as you mentioned, I grown up in Iran, and I'm an immigrant. I'm the first generation of the immigrant of our family. We came to Canada about 11 years ago, and I grown up in an entrepreneurship family. And my grandparents, my uncles, my parents, they're all entrepreneurs, and we always had our own family business, which we have it still back in Iran. And then that's the only thing that I learned, to be entrepreneur. And also, so usually you're not competing with your cousins, with your uncle, with your grandparents, with your parents. So you're always collaborating. You can fight, which we did it a lot. You will have lots of up and down. You'll get, step into each other. Yeah, that's fun. But you don't feel that you need to compete with each other. You don't feel, even if you're a competitive person or competitive relatives or family, you are not afraid of to be kicked out of the circle because it's given. And that's why I didn't learn to be competitive, and I'm not a competitive person. So, as you mentioned, it's in my blood to not be competitive and also collaborating with entrepreneurship background in small business. So that's what I did when I came to Canada, and I've learned a lot with collaboration, and I saw lots of opportunity to collaborate with your competitions, if we want to call them competition, instead of competing with them. So the first business that I did by myself, without my family and my my family background and my own, it was a bike shop that a couple bike shops that I had here. And then when I did start that bike business, I start to go in the market, especially in slow seasons, in winter times, to go and see the other bike shop, and I start, starting the relationship between me and the other bike shops. Some of them they prefer to stay in the competition side, and then they said, "Oh no, thank you. We appreciate that you approach us, but we don't want to be friends." That's fine. Some of them, which was most of them, they took a step forward and they say, "Oh yeah, definitely. Let's share information together. If you got any resume, and you want to share the resume and get a reference, we were doing that. And if you have inventory that you are missing or lack of inventory and you have a customer, either send them to us or ask us to give you the product. So we were collaborating a lot, and lots of them, they are still my friends. So I like this style, and I did use it for all the businesses that I was doing so far.
Right. Yeah, and that's so important. And that's what really interested me is it's such a fresh perspective, right? Because most people think that it's either you or the competition, only one can survive. But hey, why can't we think outside the box, and why can't we both survive and thrive?
Yeah, yeah. Especially when us as small business owners or entrepreneurs, we are going to hire a coach like you and start going through the what do you call it, the discovery sessions.
Hmm.
The first questions or the first series of the questions that you're asking usually to be able to come up with an idea and coaching your client to be successful in their business is asking about numbers.
Right.
You know, how many of this you have, how many of that you have, how much money you are making, how much is your cost, how much is this. And in the best case scenario, if we have all those information, then you can see that you are looking for the very small portion of the market.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't need to fight for it.
Yeah,
There
you're not
is
going to get everything anyways.
no, there is some area of this market, even if it's a lot for you, even if sometimes you are planning for a growth strategy and you want to, uh, shelves and you want to have a bigger, growth, and then having aggressive, forecast to achieve more than what you're expecting or what you want to achieve. It's still a very small portion of the market.
Hmm.
So we don't need, as small business and entrepreneurs, I'm saying, you don't need to fight. You can just be focused on what you want and then break it down. If I break down how many transactions I need and divide it by the number of the days and the number of the weeks that I have for a year to work on, and amount of each per transactions, then I will see that I'm talking about very small numbers per day. So that's why I think competition, it's not it's not the best way, especially again for entrepreneurs and small business owners.
Yeah, so true. And because you've done that with every business venture that you've taken on, I'd love to hear about what are some things that came out of a collaborative approach versus a competitive approach that may be unexpected. Like people who just think competition, um, if they took on a collaborative approach, what are some of the positive side effects that come from doing that approach?
So I'm sure that you've read the book Go Giver. I read
Hmm.
that book a few times, and I would recommend whoever didn't have a chance to read that book, um, they they start to read it. Before that, I experienced some part of that book, some part of the things that they were mentioning in that book, and uh, so it was review for me. One of the experience that I can remember. One day I was in my bike shop, and I saw a customer came in and said, "We need a bike shop. We need a bicycle. We need a kit bikes, and they've told us that we have to come here." I said, "Okay, thank you. Yeah, we will be more than happy to help you. Who told you to come here?" My bike shop was on Barnett Highway, close to SFU. And this person said, "We came from Caps in Port Moody. It's just a few,
Okay.
it was very close, 10-minute drive." And I said, "So I would consider them as a competition, but how come they asked you to come to me?" They said, "Because they said you want a kid bike, Dandy Horse, they have the best collection of the kids bikes." They sent it to
Okay.
me. Very easy. And I have lots of these experiences to share that lots of your competitors, they will do that if you start to collaborate with them. One of the other reasons that I love to make me more interested to do collaboration is most of the time the people that they are in your industry, they are probably as knowledgeable as you are. Okay,
Hmm.
so they can do the sell for you and then just
Right.
send it to you to say, I'm a mortgage broker, I do this, but my company, it doesn't, accept these type of profile, go to Jack. Okay?
Right.
So basically they cooked the deal and they're just giving to Jack to put it in the oven.
Right. Right.
Okay? It's his reputation, it is business, and it is referral, everything. That's why I love
Right. Yeah, that makes so much sense.
it. Hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I would highly recommend anyone listening to this and starting their own business, don't be afraid of your competition, right? It's a win-win situation. If you share your resources, share your knowledge, everyone wins. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, all of us, we're human. We have
Hmm.
logic and we have emotional side. Okay, if we
Right.
are very strong in logic, and even if we are very very eager to fight and be shark, but at the end of the day, sometimes we have some emotional side. So if you give, I'm referring to giver, the Go Giver book. So if you give, you will make those people softer and softer. So you
Right.
can turn your competition, who doesn't want to be your friend, to be your friend. One of
Right.
one of my competition at Bike Stop, he said so, and he is my friend now. But when I
Oh,
went to him, he said, "You are my competition." I said, "Yeah, you have two bike shops, one this side, one this side." I said, "Yeah," and he said, "So why you want me to give you a discount?" I said, "Because I want to be your friend." And he gave me a discount on that bike because we didn't have that bike. I know I was going to buy it from one of my other friends.
right. Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Lead with kindness, lead with love. That solves many things.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you. That is so great. Tell me about Borderless. That's a new venture that I've heard from you, but it sounds so exciting. Tell me a little bit about that.
So at Borderless, we have the same fundamental. Okay, graphic design is my forte. Graphic design and printing is my forte. It's about 20 years, 20 plus years that I'm working as a graphic designer, as a printer specialist, and beside entrepreneurship, in my blog you can see some inks and some of those stuff, some papers and some glues. Sometimes
Yeah.
there is running there. So I have a friend. He is in Iran. He is coming to Canada. His name is Hossein. He's another co-founder of the Borderless, and he's one of the very young and very talented graphic designers that he was so active in competition, and he got lots of awards. He was part of the jury of lots of international exhibitions and
Wow.
poster competition. And in our community, he's pretty well known. Okay, and then a year ago, on a project that he was launching for the Ukrainian flight that has been brought down by Iran's military, uh,
Right. Right.
they were running a competition, and I was so excited about that project, and I said, if you want, because we have a big community of Persian people in Vancouver, and also lots, basically majority of the people that has been died in that airplane has been Canadian Iranian. So I
Right.
said that I would like to help you to have an exhibition here in Canada and let their families to share their love and then supporting each other here. And that was the beginning of the cooperation. And then because of some political things, we decided to not do that exhibition. But Borderless has been started.
Ah, I
And we
see.
start to do that one. And the whole idea, beside the competition, I'm not a competitive person and I don't like competition, and I think collaboration is very good. But we are using competition factor in graphic design and international competitions to grow better, to challenge ourselves, and growing our network. So right now we have a very, very good network of people in, I would say, about 30 to 35 countries, and through Borderless. And if you want to collaborate with them, it's very easy because they're very open-minded. They gather together with competing each other and participating in the competitions that is running in this community. But they got a very good friend, and now they're helping each other. They can support each other, and that's why we start to have Borderless for two reasons. One of them, Canadian graphic designers. They are not that much recognized in international posters, and I know that there is lots of good graphic designers in Canada, but for any reason that I don't know, they haven't had a chance to be there. So we want to give opportunity to them to participate in an international competition and uh, achieve credentials and be recognized. At the same
I see.
time, attaching that community to our Canadian graphic designers community and let them collaborate on import and export graphic design service, which is very easy. And right now, these type of import export, due to the COVID situation, it is much more interesting for everyone.
That's great. It's such a good idea. Basically, well, you're not just creating a community, you're sharing knowledge, you're sharing talent, and you're creating that platform to do that.
Hmm.
Right? That's such a good idea, especially this time right now.
Yeah, and also it is all about, we are under competition and exhibition umbrella, but it is
Mm,
all about the support and
got
collaboration.
it.
For example, very, very recent one. This morning, one of the Canadian graphic designers that we know through Borderless, she texted me on WhatsApp today and she said, "Hey Reza, I found a job. I found a job uh, working for a company that they do marketing, advertising, and printing. I think this is a test that they send it to me. They sent me an email with the graphic file that has been designed for print, and they asked me to find out if there is any issue in that. Can you please review that one and let me know if these points that I found out, they are correct? Because I haven't had real experience to prepare files for print. And I did that. I went over that, I opened it up in Adobe Illustrator, I changed all the layers, I checked all the layers, and then I gave her my uh, you know uh, ideas. But all of the things that I told her, she already catched. And she said, "Thank you so much. It was a good confidence for me. May I contact you time to time?" I said, "Yeah, that's what we want to do."
Right.
So that's exactly what we want to do. I'm not about borderless. We are just here to support each other, and these support will help us to enjoy our life. And at the end of the day, we all could be successful in our own business as well.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's right in keeping with the spirit of your collaboration.
Hmm.
So Borderless is relatively new. Do you have a growth path or a goal for this? What does that look like, let's say 5 years from now when we talk again?
Yeah. So the basic, the first phase that we are in, we are just trying to bring Canadian graphic designers' attention to Borderless first, because we want to have more Canadian members. If you go to our website, if you go to our Facebook page, you can see we have lots of members and lots of interaction that is happening in our Facebook, but not all of them Canadian. Most of them they're international. So we want to have a little more red flag. Red flag is not always good, but in this case, it's awesome. I love it, especially with the
Yes.
with the leaf in the middle. Okay, I want to have that red flag to be visible in our
Right.
pages and our online activities. This is the first phase. But eventually, in 5 years down the road, we want to be a good community that we can help each other to grow. We can help each other to have a project, bigger project, which will make every one of us more satisfaction level, you know, because you cannot do the big things by yourself. It's not if IKEA was making those, make sure I was sure that they were putting one of those logos that it's not a one man job. So you have to have multi people there. So we need to have multi people to be able to achieve bigger goals, and also a source of people that we can collaborate together, we can support each other. Seniors people, they can, not in age, in more experience, they can help juniors or new people that they're coming in graphic design industry to help them to grow, to find a better job, to make their portfolio, to do the workshop. That's basically the traditional way of people getting to be expert in their areas, learning from their parents, from their grandparents, the way that they grow, the way that I've been raised. My grandparents, they taught my parents, and my parents, they taught me, and my uncles, they were involved. So basically, it is, in a simple word, that's what we want to have. We want to have a colony of graphic designers. It doesn't matter if it doesn't have border, it is borderless, but it means that we're all close to each other by heart.
Right. That's so amazing. That's great. If you're a graphic artist listening to this, I definitely recommend you guys jump on the website. It's borderlessgroup.ca, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. No, that's it's a huge community that I would love to support to grow that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So with all your experience in building businesses and everything, you shared with us one of the biggest tips, which is collaboration versus competition.
Mhm.
Are there other tips that you've kind of experienced over the duration of your entrepreneurship that you would like to share with our audience so they can take away?
Yeah, the other thing that I want to share, based on my experience, which is not uh, too far from collaboration. So most of the people that they have had some small partnership,
Mm-hmm.
or they haven't had any partnership and they just heard about it, uh, they think that the partnership is the worst way of running your business, because
I've heard that.
partners, they cannot get together.
Right.
It's right and wrong. It is
Mm-hmm.
right if you start your partnership with competition.
Right.
But if you start your partnership with collaboration,
Right.
okay, all the paperworks, they're just paperworks.
Yeah.
Okay? And your collaboration will make the business succeed better and be successful. Okay? But how we can find a potential partner which we can have a better partnership? The best way is the people that you have had some experience working with them, okay, or spending some time with them. Most of the partnerships that they are starting and they are growing very good and they're strong, they've had happened from two people or multiple people that they were working in the same company before.
Right.
I was an electrician of this company, and my friend, he was a, I don't know, plumber that company, and we start to work together. We were working on a multiple project together for that company, and now we liked each other and we kind of know how we work, and we decide to have our own construction company, and we are successful because we had a very, very good, friendship time. So that being said, that you need to have a proper preparation before partnership, and community networking, supporting each other, collaboration in different areas. Those are the ingredients that will help you to have a good partnership. So that's why joining different, uh, chamber of commerce, networking groups, or going to the church, or some competition or some associations or some group like Borderless Group, it's good because it will give you the opportunity to find the right match.
Right.
And sometimes
Yeah.
those matches, they will be your partner forever and everything. It's not just job. Sometimes they will be
Yes.
your partner for your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so well said. And I get asked that question a lot as a business coach, is the pros and cons of doing it solo as a solo proprietor or a partner. And yeah, there's pros and cons to both sides. And I would say the most common question I get asked by myself is, what's the one thing that, looking back at my entrepreneurial career, what's the one thing I would do differently? And my answer, thinking back now, is to take on a partner earlier.
Mm-hmm.
As a solo proprietor, it's you have the freedom and the decision making skills and all of that stuff. That's the pros. But what happens is you get a lot of burden on your shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
especially as you scale the company bigger, right? You can only handle so much, and even just having someone else to share your thoughts with, that is such a big relief.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally echo what you say. And what I found with my partnerships, the best ones are, like you said, we've been either friends for a while, or what I find is the alignment of value and the way you do things.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing. And because you've been a friend for so long, those values naturally align already. Otherwise, you won't be the friend,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Or you've done projects with them before, so you kind of know what's going on. And come at it from that perspective, come at it from collaboration, and that partnership would be gold.
Yeah. And the other thing that in collaboration and then having, um, good connection to the right group is sharing experience. You know,
Yes.
the thing that I mentioned a few minutes ago, that we are hoping that Borderless could be a community that people, senior, they can help juniors, and vice versa. Because sometimes as a senior, you need to have a fresh blood, so you need juniors to make you excited.
Right.
Is I'll sometimes I've been asked the same questions because I was running some businesses, and they were people that were asking me what you were doing different if now it was the time that you were starting your, let's say, bike shop.
Right.
So even if I had half a dozen businesses back in our country, but when I came to Canada, I was still junior, even more,
Yeah.
even less. Okay, so sharing experience and helping each other, it will help to grow more. Right now, if I want to have, if I had my print shop still, so the best way for me to grow my print shop or any businesses, it's copying myself. So if I
Yes.
can, and what is the difficulty to copy some yourself in-house and with your own budget? The difficulty is the threat that if you invest on a person to hire and train, is that person going to stay in your uh, company or not? Okay,
Right.
are they going to decide to go and run their own business or join another company? But if you collaborate, you don't have that problem, because I will
Right.
collaborate with Eric. Eric will have his own company, and Eric's concern is growing his own company. So if I'm helping Eric, and Eric can take my help, and vice versa, to start this collaboration, this interest will go forever. It's not something that you are interested now and later on you will lose your interest, because
Right.
it is your company, it is on your budget. I'm not investing in you directly, okay? And this collaboration, it will get stronger and stronger. That's the beauty of collaboration versus investing on a human resource. That's why lots of companies right now, they are doing multi-level marketing.
Yes.
Multi-level marketing, it is, some people they don't like it and they are thinking that it's pyramid business. It is not. It is more collaboration. But what is it? What is the collaboration part of that? They have mutual interests. So if you can have a mutual interest, which you can find it in collaboration as well. It is less structured as multi-level marketing. That's why it's not flagged yet, but it is the best part.
Right. Thank you. That is so good.
Yeah,
Well, I really do appreciate your time. You've shared so much insight with us. The Borderless program and project is so exciting. I wish you all the best for that. And I do want to check in a year or two from now to see how that's going.
for sure. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for this time. And also, I'm so happy that we had an opportunity to chat together. And the best thing that I can um, say at the end of this conversation is collaboration and having the right person and professional to help you put your step forward. Coach, lawyers, good accountants, and someone that they can help you to find the best way and then find the best practices at the beginning.
Yes. Yeah, you shortcut so much of your learning.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Reza. I
Thank you.
appreciate it so much.